You are now tuning in to the Talking with Evie podcast.
Hello, this is Dr. Evie Burns, and this is Talking with Evie. And I'm so glad to be back. I hope everything's going well so far in your new year. I hope that you have not abandoned things that you told yourself you were going to do. So today what I'm doing, I'm kind of changing. Alastair has been asking me questions. So now what I'm going to do is I'm turning the tables on him, because this guy is involved in something so fantastic. And I think that it's something noteworthy that we need to be looking at. We talk so much now about it's unsafe for us to be on the streets here in the United States. But this organization that we've been affiliated with, it's trying to prevent childhood slavery in Liberia, Africa, West Africa. And it's called Kingdom Relationship Network, and he's a part of this. And I got an opportunity. We had what was that, a bingo?
Yeah, Coco and Bingo.
Cocoa and Bingo night, and where we were raising funds for these children. And the executive director, her name is Albertina Nyanti. And she is such a wonderful woman. And coming from that part of Africa, you see so many things going on. And she was a part of this. And she just, her heart was just torn, because you watch these kids, young boys, young girls, where the families would have to work and they would trade them off. Alastair is going to be going on the 29th of February there, and he's going to be helping them he's a techie of sorts. And so he's going to be helping. So I'm going to turn everything over to him today, and I want him to tell you all about the organization. I'm excited because here my staff and I, we've been helping to sponsor some kids. $50 a month. $50 a month. And some of us can go to Burger King, McDonald's, Toy Store, Dollar Tree, and spend that. So, okay, Alastair, I'm going to hand it over to you. I want you to tell my audience how you got involved in this, and tell us something about Albertina, because eventually we're going to get her here to tell her story.
For sure.
Okay, take it away.
So it's just amazing. This whole journey has been kind of a God thing. If you had told me even 7 months ago that I was going to Africa,
wow,
I would have, in February, because this was like June, July, whenever it is, I met Albertina, just to show you how things progress. But I'm very much a fan and an advocate of following the Spirit. And in this phase of my life, with all the businesses and all the different things, and I'm on board of several nonprofits, I'm very much open to what God's plan is and what he has me to do.
okay.
So my main business is helping people to be able to develop their brand, and then I also do business coaching, helping them to take their businesses to the next level. And part of that is social media, helping them to be able to make sure that they have the correct presence on social media. Web development and print marketing has been my business for over 25 years. So because of that, our pastor's wife, one of the pastors at our church, she actually connected Albertina with me. She had no website, she had no social media presence, but she wanted to go that route. And she had been working on this organization for 2 years. But she was ready to take it to the next level. Most importantly, she needed to be able to record her studio in one of my other businesses that I'm part owner of, a podcast studio called The Loft Podcast Studio. And so they knew a combination of my knowledge and background in web development, print marketing, and the podcast that we needed to connect. So they introduced us, and we didn't really do anything at first. And then other party introduced us again, and we were like, yeah, we met. We were supposed to meet up. And when she came to the podcast studio and she told her story of being a childhood slave in Liberia, and how it was actually family members.
Wow.
Like she was entrusted to family members, but the culture there is that the people in the richer parts of the country will come to the poorer parts of the country, promise that they'll take their kids, give them a better education, they'll get the parents to sign off on their kids, and then they take them to be childhood slaves, essentially childhood slaves. They sleep in the corner, they pee in a pot, and their job is to take care of the family that has taken them from their natural home.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me just interject. You're being a father yourself.
Yes.
How did this impact you? I know you have a daughter.
I just couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine entrusting my kids to somebody. And because there's no communication, Liberia, there's not any kind of really social media. There's not really a phone system. The town where it is that we're serving has no electricity, no running water. So it's not like it is that I could sneak away and call home and tell Mom, come get me, because it's not what it is that I said. These kids are literally childhood forced laborers, what it's called. But childhood slavery is the thing that I think when it comes to mind. So she actually had to escape out of that situation. She actually had to escape away from, and these are family members. So these are people that you trust. She has a huge family over there. So she escaped out of that, went to another part of her family who's rescued her out of it. She had no money, and she had to actually ride at the bottom of the bus because she didn't have any money. And the first thing that she did after she escaped was to go rescue another girl that she had saw that was in the same situation.
And she could have been incarcerated
Yes.
herself again.
Or caught and sent back to the family that she came
Wow.
from. It reminds me kind of like a Harriet Tubman, I've escaped and I'm going back to rescue somebody else. But that's whenever God revealed to her that this is her passion, is to rescue other kids out of the situation.
So how much does it take or will it take to take care of a family, and how big is this family?
So if you think of Liberia, what I found is that the average income over there, the families are surviving off of $100, $50 a month. $50 US a month, $100 is what a family of 5, 6, and 7 are surviving off of to be able to eat. So when it comes to these children's education, it costs $50 a year to send a kid to school. So you have a choice of either feeding your family or sending your kids to school. A lot of the kids are forced to be able to go work on the street selling wares, and if they get hooked on drugs, they're selling themselves, they're prostituting themselves just to be able to feed their family. So the family is forced to make a decision. Do I feed my family or do I send them to school? School is not necessarily an option for some of these kids. So when I found out this, Albertina said, my goal is to be able to get 20 kids off of the street and into school. And without even thinking, I was like, let's go for 100.
Yeah.
And then I even, after it came out of my mouth, I was like, why'd I say 100 kids? That's a lot of kids. So we got to raise $5,000 to be able to get, and this is in June. This is right before school started. So we had like a month or 2 months to be able to raise this money. I had no clue how we were going to raise it. But I'm like, like you said, going out to eat once with your family is $50. If you can just people can be able to make a little bit of a sacrifice. Even if people only could do $25, then if we gathered enough of our people that we would be able to put these 100 kids in school. And so we launched the campaign, and immediately we had somebody that came and sponsored 10 kids that donated $1,000.
Wow.
And then we had our church came in and gave us $1,000 to sponsor 10 kids. And we were able to raise about $3,000 by the time school started. Wow. But the way that our program is set up is that we don't just go and grab kids off the street. We have a team in Liberia that go out, interview the parents. They sign a waiver. They said that the kids have to stay in school in order for them. We don't pay the money to the family. We pay it directly to the school. So there's a whole system. We call it the education program, so that we can make sure that these kids are being accountable to staying in school. So we had already interviewed 100 kids.
Wow.
And talked to all the parents of these kids. So how are we going to go to them and say, I'm sorry, we're only going to be able to cover 60 of the 100. It just didn't sit well with us. So our amazing team in Liberia, our program directors there in Liberia, went and negotiated with the schools that we could pay one semester at a time and we were able to get all 100 kids in school with the money that we had raised.
So you did reach the goal of the 100
For
children.
one semester, because they
Okay.
allowed us to pay one semester at a time. That's why we had our Cocoa and Bingo fundraising night, and that's why we
And
have
then
this
tell us
upcoming
about
gala.
y'all finding someone to make the clothes and how you did that also.
Yeah, so that $50 includes not just their registration for school, but also their shoes, their uniforms, their books. They have certain books that they need, a workbook and an exercise book.
Okay.
And so that covers all of it. But getting the pre-done uniforms, again, we're trying to get them in school. We didn't want them to go to school and be different than the other kids with
Right.
no uniform. And some of these kids never owned any new shoes in their life.
Wow.
So we went and we found a local tailor in the town where the school is or in the major capital and said, hey, if we have all these clothes sewn, we can save a little bit of money there. If we buy all these shoes in bulk from a different vendor, we can save a little money there. If we buy all the supplies, and like I said, we have an amazing team in Liberia, and they did all the negotiation to be able to make it where within that $3,500, we got not only 100 kids in school, but we got them all custom sewn uniforms, brand new shoes. And we seen the videos of when these kids received this stuff, and they were it's backpacks. They all got brand new backpacks to be able to put them in. And this is a game changer for these families.
How has this impacted you? And
Oh,
then
wow.
and then tell us what is it that you're going to do exactly, because I know they have a junior college that we would call junior college or college there, that the kids there are technologically smart, but they just don't
have
have the
access.
know-how or
Yeah.
the access. Explain that to us.
Well, the biggest thing, you asked how it impacted me, is that whenever it is that you see people who have absolutely nothing, it gives you gratitude for what it is that you have.
Right.
So no matter how tough things are and how it is that I hear people all the time, I'm struggling. You really are not. In comparison to what? One of my mentors always say, in comparison to what? In comparison to these people who are surviving off of $50 to $100 a month, are you struggling? I mean, whenever we have all of our vices here and all of our gadgets, and I have an Amazon habit, and to be able to drop ship stuff and have it the next day. In comparison to these people who are just trying to eat, that's what really got me to reevaluate how it is that I spend my money and the time that I spend with my family. But yeah, technology is my background. So one of the young gentlemen down there, his name is Joshua, he said, hey, whenever you're down here for the 2 weeks that you're down here, the kids here would love it if you would put on a technology seminar teaching them about technology. You being a successful Black businessman from the U.S. coming to teach these kids, they're going to be blown away when you teach them technology. Now, I've taught technology seminars before, and I've been keynote speakers. So I'm putting together my curriculum together, and I'm running it by one of the high school teachers there in Joshua. And they're like, no, you don't understand. You have to say, this is a mouse.
Wow.
This is a monitor. Some of them have never seen
Step by step.
a laptop or a computer because they do everything by cell phone.
Yeah.
And so step by step, you have to explain to them what technology is, and then you can start teaching them some of the basics of how they can turn this into a career. Completely blew my mind, because we have kids here that whenever I go into it, they're arguing because they don't have the latest iPhone, right? Or they're upset because it is that their laptop is a year old. And here you have kids that would just be happy to have the most basics of technology, or don't even have, we have to bust them into a city because there's no electricity in the village that we're going to be able to teach them. So we're trying to figure out how it is to be able to get the solar panels and the electricity there. So once we teach them these skills, that they'll be able to implement them. And I had a pastor who said that the next Bill Gates or Elon Musk is going to come out of Liberia, out of what it is that we're doing. That's what it is that he prophesies, and that lit me up. So that's kind of my goal.
Is this your first trip to Africa?
My first trip to Africa.
So how you feeling about that?
Oh man, there's the excitement and anxiety and all of it together, right? Yeah. Going someplace that is on the other side of the world, away from your family and everything else like that. But just in the work that we've done and being there on the ground is going to give me a whole three-dimensional understanding of the impact that we're making. They're thrilled out of their mind that we're coming. Albertina's been there many times because she's from there.
Yeah.
And I feel safe because she has so much family there, and our team has done such a great job of preparing it for us. that I feel safe. I just feel like I'm going to be there for 2 weeks, and I feel like we're going to run out of
No,
time.
I heard 3 weeks. I
No,
heard.
don't do that. My wife will hear that, and she'll be like, 3? When did it turn to 3? It originally was 1, and then it went to 2, so
Oh
we're not going to
my
stretch it out. I know
goodness.
I'll be going back for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
But, just the ability to be able to go on the ground and to be able to see it. And, it's funny because whenever you say that you're going to do something positive, you have these negative naysayers
Yes.
that want to say, well, what about violence and what about yellow fever and all this stuff? But I truly believe that if God put this on my heart and in my path, that he'll protect me while as I'm there.
Yeah.
And he knows what my intention and my mission is in going. And I believe that he'll protect me and while it is that, or all of us that are going on this trip. Because it's myself, her son, and even her mom is going back for a year because her mom is from there as well. We'll all be going and traveling together. So it's going to be an amazing trip.
When I spoke with her about my being an educator, you remember she asked if I would go.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll go. When
Yeah,
that
and it was
time
funny because
comes.
when I first told you, like, Africa's not even on my radar. And then next thing I know, next time we met, she's like, you know what? I think God is calling me to go to it.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing how it is that, and this whole initiative has been one door after another that God is opening up for us. Now we're finding out that we may be qualified for some grant money that's going to be able to help us to build the school faster. So we're just kind of following God's lead, and it's support from the people like the ones that are listening to this podcast. Sponsoring one kid. We have an event that's coming up at February the 9th. It's called the Elegance of Love Gala.
Okay.
It's going to be all about love and loving your spouse and loving your friends. I mean, if you're not married, you can bring a friend or whatever else. If it is that you're dating somebody, you can bring them as well, because the whole theme is love. Mm-hmm. And we just want to be able to celebrate love and celebrate couples. And so we're having this event on February 9th, and it's a fundraiser. All the proceeds will go directly towards the building of the school, building of the safe house, and building of the clinic that we want to build in this town.
Do you have an address or some way if somebody listening to the podcast would be interested?
Absolutely.
Please plug that. And like I said, we're going to have Albertina on, and she can come and tell us much, much more. I was excited and blown away when he pitched this to me. And so, we here at Talking with Evie, we've made a couple of donations ourselves,
Absolutely.
because
we appreciate your support.
yeah, we have to be concerned. So give the audience a place if they wanted to give something.
If you go to
donate.
Kingdom Relationship Network is the name of the organization. So if you go to kingdomrelationshipnetwork.org, that's where it is that you could actually see some of the activities that we're doing. If you wanted to attend the gala, you can actually buy a ticket to the gala. But if you just want to be able to make a donation, you can make a donation there. And you can watch some videos about what it is that we're doing, the whole initiative and the power behind it. And even we're looking for, as is we build this village, people to actually go and to contribute their time as well. So if that's something that interests you, there's a contact form where it is that you can get a hold of us on the website too. We're just excited to see where God leads us.
Thank you so much, Alastair.
Well, thank you for having
me. I'm happy, and I'm happy for you that you get an opportunity to go to Africa. God bless you in your travels, and we will be keeping up with you. I'm saying to you guys again, I hope you're working on your goals. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and this will help the podcast to go forth. Thank you again. Thank you, Alastair.
Thank you for having me.